Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us.
Yeah, sweet. So welcome back to
Just
episode
the
4
two
of the Rising Tide podcast with Kyle and Riley. Today we got a couple interesting guests on today. We've got Matt and Ryker from Rove Productions. We're gonna just dive into our industry, talk about their story, and sort of see how they got where they are and where they are now. So yeah, if you guys want to introduce yourselves, that'd be awesome.
You go.
You man, ladies first.
Oh, I was gonna say age before beauty. That works. You're older than me. There you go.
Just awkward pause. Yeah, my name's Matt. I'm one half of Rove Productions, production company here in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Ryker and I have been running now for about 2 years. And then prior to that, about a year each of freelance. And then prior to joining the creative industry, I worked at a hedge fund company as a transfer agent for a bit. And prior to that, 5 years as a naval weapons engineer with the Navy.
Naval weapons engineer with the RCMP.
What a mixed bag.
With Target, of all places.
Yeah.
It's the beyond part of Bed Bath & Beyond.
And I'm Ryker, also obviously one half of Rove Productions. Before I got into the creative space, I took a kinesiology and biology degree from Acadia. That's where I met Kyle.
Respect.
I was actually Kyle's teacher
You're my TA.
I was your lab instructor.
X-Phys.
So yeah,
What a
and
time.
then started working at a gym, started doing content creation at the gym that I was working at, and then eventually moved off to doing this full time, which was I only started full time last year, or 2020, I guess. Like COVID actually is what made it possible for me to go full time.
Yeah, in a weird way.
Yeah.
You'd think it'd be the exact
Super
opposite, but
I know.
Yeah, no, it's similar to us too. That way, it was kind of I was freelance for a year before, before Kyle came aboard, and yeah, no, that's you guys have been you've been killing it so far. You're 2 years in. How's it going? You guys are happy with the growth and the direction it's going?
yeah, I mean, we definitely can't complain with the growth.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I feel like our direction's always changing. Like for 6 months, this is what we want to do.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that, we're like, oh, maybe we want to do this instead.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's always gonna be video centric.
Really,
for
we're just
us.
like trying a little bit of everything, and then whatever
Seeing what sticks.
whatever we don't like, we won't do again. And then if there's things that we kind of like, we'll just kind of like elaborate on those. That's kind of been my motto with everything. Is like I've worked like 100 different jobs. I don't want to say hated all of them because there's a few that I really liked, but eventually landed on photo and video, and that's what we're still doing. But yeah, like we've been doing. Like, we got our first really big contract in 2020.
I was gonna
In
say.
2022, we got our first really big contract in 2022.
Yeah. Just started.
And with wine growers, which was fucking sweet. We basically toured around all Nova Scotia and went to 20 different vineyards and profiled, did a interview piece with the winemakers and the owners of each of the vineyards. And just, dude, come on. And
So if you hear scratching, it's because Matt is ADHD over here. He's
Yeah,
literally
cleaning the
picking
table
tape.
off. Sorry, continue.
No, that's it. Like we got to get kind of like a behind the scenes look at the industry, and it was really cool. And then we've just kind of been trying to get deeper and deeper into the wine industry in Nova Scotia. They're one of our big clients, so they really kind of kicked things off for us.
Are you guys big winos? Like, is that a business?
We are now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
realistically,
Dive into it,
prior to getting that first contract, I mean, neither of us really drink a whole lot,
No.
and we definitely didn't drink wine. And then after that, it's like you just grow to love the taste.
Yeah.
Not just because the taste of the wine, but
You
like what you said,
appreciate it.
You get to know the winemakers, the vineyard owners, what goes into the wine,
Yeah.
and how different characteristics of each winemaker shapes the wine itself.
Right.
So you can't help any.
Now you're just drinking it like water.
That's
Oh man,
There is
I've got
water in there.
we've
I've-
consumed
For
over
sure.
100 bottles of wine
Like a
between the
wall.
two of us.
easily over 100 bottles of wine
Like
the
in the
past
past
year
In
and
the
a half.
past year, yeah.
And I have like a
Right.
I
I
probably
Sounds
have,
He's carrying the team
I say
for us.
probably same, but Kyle doesn't drink. So, yeah.
I probably have like a 40 bottle collection at my house right now
Nice.
too.
I'll just
like,
give all mine away.
It's kind of
Yeah.
cool to have that
That's-
stockpile.
Oh,
It's
man.
like it's not that you need to drink them all.
I
I've
mean,
got some-
his wedding was sponsored by various vineyards across the world.
Yeah, basically.
Unreal.
It
Not
was
a big deal.
I think we
Yeah.
drank 11
Could be
bottles
good.
of Benjamin Bridge bubbly over the
Yeah.
weekend, which is pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That was sweet. And I got some crazy ones. I got like one of Gary V's wines, like the limited edition one.
Oh, really?
And then obviously we're part of the the BB Club.
Benjamin Bridget Barrel.
Oh, I
Yeah,
saw you guys
which
posting
is like
stories about that.
yeah, so like every 3 months they send us like 3, I don't know, like
Exclusive
bottles.
bottles of
Yeah.
wine.
Ones that you can't get commercially.
Right.
It's really cool.
Cool.
Oh, that's sweet.
Does it come with like a story too? Like
Oh yeah, they have
Yeah.
like a full write up
Little
of
card
it,
that goes over each one.
and then they actually do like a live tasting with oh my god, what's his name?
Jean Benoit.
Jean Benoit, the winemaker. They do a live tasting
Jeez.
so that you can
With
actually like
that
sit
name, how
in with
could
him.
you do anything else?
Right? Like
He speaks in poems. It's crazy.
he is. He's the
man
most
is-
poetic human I've ever met in my
just
life.
Sit down and all listen to him
Distinguished.
talk about anything.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Oh, you literally like the interview with him. I think we have like 90 minutes of interview footage, and you had to like decipher
That's
it
a
to
nightmare.
figure it
You
out.
gotta get
It was a nightmare, but when you're listening to it, you're just like,
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but then you had to bring it down to 60 seconds,
Yeah.
and like he didn't have like a single 60-second explanation of
That was
anything. It was
fluent,
just like,
fluent,
yeah, everything was just beautiful. Like you could have made like a full length movie.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
basically delivering a 60-second video to each vineyard, but then like a 90-minute video to Benjamin Bridge.
Yeah.
Here you go.
So
Just
where
sound.
was that project? Like that was on YouTube? Is that for there? Like for Nova Scotia or?
It is on their YouTube.
Yeah.
They use it for marketing for their social media, and then
All
each
the
of the
vineyards
vineyards
use
use it individually as well.
Right.
Yeah, for
And
their
you guys
websites
also
and such.
implemented. You're doing some like teaching along with that too, aren't you? Like you were running some social media classes. Or...
Yeah, so it just
Yeah.
ended up being through Still the Wine Growers of Nova Scotia. They have like an ambassador program, so certain micro influencers around the city who go to vineyards as well as like
Yeah.
New Brunswick has a few. And they just came in, and Ryker and I gave a quick course on how to create better content with your cell phone, just so they're better equipped when it comes to actually self-promoting these
Right.
vineyards.
Because a lot of the vineyards, I mean, there are a few like really big ones. Like you got your like Luckett's and Lightfoot and Benjamin Bridge, but then there's also a lot of small ones. Like L'Acadie is literally like Bruce and his wife run the whole thing.
Right.
Like it's just 2 of them, but they also are like super competitive with the wines that they make, which is really cool. But a lot of them just don't have the money for like big, like to have somebody
Right.
in-house doing all the marketing.
time,
So any assets that like we could give or the winery association could give were
I also
just a
feel like
bonus.
respectfully that the wine industry is like an older aged crowd too. Like so like for them to have
For the
someone
most
on
part.
full time, it's not necessarily someone that's just gonna come in and run an Instagram
Yeah.
page.
Yeah.
Right? It's you need someone that actually knows what they're talking about and
Yeah.
can answer those questions and
Well, and there's a few vineyards that are like, again, you have the ones that are like very university centric, like have the older crowd that really appreciate wine, then have the people who want to come in because they want like a nice meal and to take a selfie kind of thing, and like like cheers glasses and
Right,
leave. But then
yeah.
you have like a lot of the smaller ones is like very like wine aficionado people like coming from Europe or from out west and stuff like that, coming in specifically because they heard that this wine was really good.
right.
So
Mhm.
there's kind of like like a mixed bag of people that
They're
are
gonna have a
doing
specific red telephone booth, eh?
it. Yeah, exactly.
I've seen that a couple times.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
man.
it for sure.
It's iconic though.
It really
I've
is.
actually never been. I've never
Oh,
been
you've
on
never been
a
to
wine.
Luckett's?
I've never been on a wine tour. Period. I was supposed to go on two
man.
with my family this past year, but COVID kind of happened.
The
And
guy hurt his back.
yeah, I threw my back out the night before we were supposed to go. So I just was like, I'm not gonna. As much as wine probably would have helped, it probably would have just like hurt longer, right? So,
Definitely.
We'll have to do a joint company party.
Yeah.
yeah.
Rove Uncharted wine tour.
Yeah.
Say
We'll just
less.
do a Sony.
Oh.
We'll do a Sony lads wine tour.
Hey,
That would
hey,
actually
yeah,
be
we actually should. That'd be sick.
hilarious.
No cameras
That-
allowed.
Yeah.
That would actually be unreal. Yeah. If cameras allowed, and we could all be for free, you know. Just,
Yeah, there you go.
I
Yeah.
can't guarantee the quality of the footage at that point.
Yeah.
Oh no, the
Yeah.
first vineyard definitely has an advantage over the last one.
It's
For
substantial,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and I guess kind of continue on the question train. You guys are going to Africa soon. You're heading off.
Oh man.
Yeah, 2.5 weeks. About that. Going to Uganda for 3 weeks. Yeah, we're just.
I'm assuming neither of you've ever been before. or-
Never. I haven't been
No,
anywhere.
Yeah,
No?
he's been to Mexico.
I've been to
so-
Mexico, and I've been to Florida, I've been to Mexico, and I've been to BC, and that's like the extent
And
of my
that's the
travels.
extent.
And now I'm going to Africa for 3 weeks. So
Yeah, we're just trying to
A
avoid
little bit of a
contact
culture
with as
shock.
many people as possible.
Yeah.
Just where COVID's ramping up. Like every day closer to the trip, we're getting more and more like hypersensitive. Like I don't want to see anybody.
Yeah.
It's
Because
fair.
like if I get COVID like a couple days before this trip, oh
Yeah.
man.
Your
Yeah.
toes.
we're basically like not taking on any projects until we get back. We're doing like Supplement King because like we do their stuff every month for them. But other than that, we don't have anything lined up until we get back because like
How long are you
we
gone
just
for?
don't want to reach 3 weeks.
3 weeks, true.
Yeah. So it's like it's like 2.5 days of travel
Both ways.
on the way there and on the way back.
Or no,
Maybe
a day and a half there, 2 days back.
2 days back.
And
We
yeah,
ex-
you're doing a layover. You said right? Like,
Yeah, in Qatar.
in Qatar.
Crazy.
It's gonna be really
Yeah.
cool. I just wish that we were gonna get there in the morning or something though, so we could go.
Yeah, we're there overnight
Right.
basically. We get there like supper time. We don't leave till the next morning.
Want to go to the desert.
And then I guess go back on the the Africa trip, because everybody listening doesn't really know what you're going for.
Yeah.
You guys want to kind of speak on that? I think it's
For
awesome.
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we're like little backstory. A couple of years ago, so my friends Jonathan and Autumn run a retreat, like a wellness retreat in Cape Breton every year at Live Life Intense. And Lee's cousin, who he owns Live Life Intense, she was there working for the summer. We kind of just connected, started talking. She was talking about this nonprofit that she started in Africa called the Meraki Project. And the kind of what the, oh man, I don't even know how to explain it. Like what the nonprofit stands for has like kind of evolved over the years. But basically, she helps out in refugee camps with education. She does like education through art at the camps. So really cool program. We hit it off. I originally planned to go with her almost 2 years ago now to Africa.
Just pre-COVID, wasn't it?
Yeah, like we were gonna go in like May, and then COVID happened,
that
like May of
March.
2020. And then we've just been in talks and like we've been in contact, and then she was finally just like, you know what, I'm going back. I want you to come with me. And I was like, cool. If I'm going, Matt's coming. So we basically got the whole trip organized, and we're going over there to document the teachers specifically in this like section of the refugee camp.
Right.
Yeah, to kind of tell their story. It's gonna be sweet. I mean, you can add some more to that if you want, but
I mean,
That's
that's
the
pretty
gist
much,
of it.
yeah, that
Yeah.
says it. We're just going there to profile some teachers and hopes to secure funding for their salaries for the year. Because
Yeah.
it's super inexpensive. It's what, $200 a month
$200 a month.
for a teacher's salary. And like, you know, without the teachers, these kids aren't getting the
Right.
education, right? And I mean, from what Anika was saying, they live and breathe for the school.
Yeah.
And I mean, we were just told today too, because it was up in the air if the government was going to allow the schools to be open, but they just opened up schools
Yeah.
across Uganda. So
Okay.
And they-
thankfully, when we go there,
The
we'll-
schools have been closed for
since the start of the pandemic.
for almost
Wow.
2 years now.
Just
So
closed. Wow. And I'm
Yeah.
guessing the online learning isn't
there's
quite as accessible there.
no, there's
No,
definitely
there's
it's
not.
nothing
Crazy.
like that. So, but yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
And I saw you guys posted too that you're doing you collecting like $20 donations, and you're buying
A disposable camera.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's something that I think Anika started for this year
It
specifically.
was for this year.
yeah, with
for the
students that she's been
graduating
working
class.
with for the past couple of years, and basically it's like a little photo project for these kids. And I mean, I think on the third day she had enough cameras bought for everybody. So
Right.
Yeah, I think
Amazing.
she
Yeah,
needed
that's
47 and she got
49.
49. She
Yeah.
got 52 or 53.
amazing.
But
Awesome.
the other way that she fundraises for this occasionally is because it's education through art. The kids actually like make bracelets as part of the art program, and she sells them back here. So you can buy a bracelet. They're $20, and then you sponsor a kid at the refugee camp.
Yeah.
I can't
awesome.
remember the numbers exactly, but I'm pretty sure that $20 pays for their entire year of education. So it's pretty crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, those are crazy numbers.
Yeah, it just makes you
They
realize
don't,
like
they don't really.
how good we have it over here. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing too to have that brought to your attention, like
yeah,
that kind of part of the world.
It's gonna be humbling for sure.
It's gonna be something completely different to actually be there, right? And
Oh
like
my
meet
God.
these people, and I
Right.
mean, if you come back the same person, like
you did something wrong.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to not only hear about it but see the content you guys produce for it, because I know it's gonna be unreal. So
It's gonna be awesome. Basically, we go into the camp every other day. There's no school on weekends, obviously.
Yeah.
So like we're gonna do like either Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or we'll do like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
depending on
Because it's
the
a
weather.
2.5 hour drive through back country roads in
Yeah.
Uganda.
And not the backcountry roads that like you just cruise through in
Yeah.
country song.
She couldn't
here in
stress it
fucking
enough. She goes,
Nova
you
Scotia.
have not seen the potholes out on these roads,
Yeah.
according
Okay.
to Anika. They're pretty.
Nobody's singing songs about these back.
No,
no.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn,
Do you guys have anything big lined up?
can't tell you. It's a secret.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Honestly, like not specifically. Like we've kind of opened up. We're like you said, we're trying to lock in some like longer term work this
Yeah.
year. It's the one off stuff is fun because you get to buzz around and
Yeah.
do everything.
Yeah.
Like see all the backgrounds of everything.
Yeah.
But we kind of want to just get on with some companies and just stick to and
For
know that
sure.
our bills are paid and
Yeah.
you know that we just want that security this year. So it's kind of our big focus. But I mean, other than the Thunderbirds, there's nothing really. We're kind of just waiting on them to get back with
Yeah.
with COVID and everything too. So
It's been a funny year, just like kind of like you said, Riker. I think it was. It's like doing a bunch of different projects. Matt, you might have said this actually, but doing a bunch of different stuff and then being like, well, we actually don't like doing this.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny too because we have that connection with Acadia where you did kin
Yeah.
and I did nutrition. Neither of us are using either of those
No.
degrees whatsoever. So first of all, did a degree. Not that we didn't like it, but it's like completely don't even use it. Don't want to do
Definitely.
that. You said about the jobs. I'm such a firm believer that like you need to do shitty jobs in
Totally.
your life to learn what you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Like I did.
100%.
I mean, I cleaned people's golf clubs, which actually didn't suck that bad, but like don't want to do that
Yeah.
forever. I painted fire hydrants one summer. That was miserable. Like
I
Painted
did
fire
junk
hydrant.
removal.
Yeah.
I was working for 1-800 Got Junk. I worked in
God.
I worked at an aerospace where you like build airplane flaps, and that was like shift work. That was miserable.
That is like polar opposites. Clearing out junk and then building
Yeah.
aerospace.
I
things.
know.
And the time frame is like pretty close to each other too, which is kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
But that's
Because you
like-
don't know who's building those planes, and now you do. So
yeah, it's interesting the parallel there with like our work and then like the work that we're doing now. It's
Yeah.
just like you gotta do everything, experience a lot of different things, and figure out what you're good at, what you like, and
Yeah,
that's
for
sort of
sure.
what we're trying to do too. So,
Yeah. There's not
like-
just one path to getting there, are there? I know it's like the most cliche thing that people say is like,
It's the
like-
Take
journey, not
yeah,
the
it's the journey.
destination.
But like honestly, I mean,
It really is.
like I probably wouldn't be here shooting, like doing photo and video if I hadn't gone to Acadia and done
Yeah.
my kin degree,
God, no.
obviously,
no.
For sure.
right? So
Were you like creative like growing up, or did you like?
That's what I was going to ask if like, anyone
Yeah.
had any creative tendencies or creative based
I-
jobs
yeah.
prior to this.
man, I used to draw a lot. Like I have like binders and binders and binders full of drawings back home,
Okay.
and I like still occasionally pick up sketchbook and like draw some stuff down. I was never good, but I just liked. But I liked doodling,
Enjoying it,
Yeah.
right? And
Creating.
then like that was really it. Like I mean, I bought a GoPro in university, just like classic. Like I wanted to
Mhm.
go to like 3 pools, and like I did a couple like party videos and stuff like that. I like strapped a GoPro to a bottle of champagne and like passed it
Yeah.
around the party, like that kind of stuff. But that was like the extent of it. And then I didn't even think, like in university, I was always the one taking photos with my phone, and I have like thousands of photos from university, but I
Mhm.
never like thought back then like, oh, maybe someday I'll like to take photos for other people. Like
No, it's
never,
weird, eh?
not in a million years.
I think I think a lot of people have those creative like tendencies but like obviously this is like whatever like a society and whatever, but like
Yeah.
there's not a lot of like avenues for that. Like you're always pushed to like go do kin because
Oh,
you're
totally.
athletic, or go do nutrition because
Yeah.
you're an athlete, or do business because like I don't know, money, I guess.
Yeah.
But like but it's never like, oh well, you should explore photography, you should explore videography,
Yeah.
right? So you
We
kind
all-
of have to find it on your own. and
We all
it's-
kind of like also like graduated around the time of like the birth of social media too, and now it's more feasible to actually have a career
Totally.
in this field because like
Fair, yeah.
before it was like you're being like published in a magazine, or you're like
Yeah.
hopefully getting on like a website, like but not really
Yeah.
even like. But now we're so fortunate that there's so many different platforms that you can literally just, if you really want to, work for a company and run their TikTok.
Well, I
right?
mean,
Like, it's
man,
like-
there's kids out there doing dance videos on their iPhones and making $1 million a year. Like, it literally blows my mind.
That's very
There's,
frustrating.
yeah, there's so many ways that, like, yeah, you don't even, even us as creatives in the industry, like we don't even realize how many opportunities there are for stuff like this.
It's just
like,
a massive
crazy.
shift to like, you know, what you were saying earlier about like kind of getting work based off money, getting a degree, right? Like that was something that was very much sought after, you know, maybe fucking a decade ago, maybe 2 decades ago. But I mean, Kevin O'Leary, notorious, you know, entrepreneur, businessman. He, there's like a TikTok that was going around with him quoting how, you know, his bet now is more so on creatives for making more money in the future. He's like, if you're a photographer or you know how to make videos or you're good at managing social media or you can do graphic design, he's like, that's where the money's getting pushed to now because, you know, even specific things like NFTs and Web3 and social media, like that is where the future's going, right? And you need people to be creating content for that, right?
100%. No, it's definitely way easier to make money off it now than it was before, for sure. I'm trying to transition. What were we
I mean,
Matt, I want to go back
like
to
yes and no. I mean, you still need to. There's a lot of investing in yourself that you have to do.
Absolutely.
Totally.
To get to that point where you can make like money and sustain yourself, but I get what you mean. Like there's a lot
the
more
barrier to
you can do a
entry.
one-man crew, right?
Yeah.
You can literally have one person running the whole
Everything.
production. Obviously, it's not going to have the same attention to detail.
But still, even 20 years ago, you could never have just one person film something for a website or even a TV spot, right? It's like a team of fucking 10 plus people, right? But now, like, the two of you could run in, or me and Riker can run in, and like we've done TV spots. You guys have done TV spots, like Thunderbirds and stuff like that. 2 people can pull it off and do it better than, you know, a team of 10 at times.
100%.
Yeah.
That's one thing we're trying to showcase with the Thunderbirds too, is that we're doing this behind the scenes 24/7 kind of content.
With Tyson as well.
With Tyson, Tyson obviously he's a big lead. He's leading the whole thing, doing like the script out, and we're just kind of getting all the shot lists and stuff. But it's to see, like now watching back on those, it's like holy crap, how many guys they have working here? Like because like. You look, go and watch. I was watching like the Leafs one a few weeks ago, and it's like they have everything, and it's like if Kyle and I, like one of us misses something, it's like fuck, like it is only 2 of us. That's the only downside. But on the other side of it too, it's so easy to just know that it's the 2 of us. What we're gonna be producing is like it's all our content, so you can kind of shoot for that and pre-plan.
And it's a bit easier to manage too, right? Obviously, with a larger team,
100%,
you're gonna get a better production. But then, like managing that many moving parts in those heads and making sure everyone's aligned, I feel like there's more room
It's
for
a whole
error.
other skill set.
But it's still something that I mean, Riker and I definitely want to dabble in. Like we love the idea. I'm speaking for us, but I think we love the idea of just contracting out people to have like a team of like 5+ people at one point, just to do one really kick-ass video and be like, fuck, like we made this.
100%.
Right?
Again, we talked to Brad about a bit about that too. That it's like it would be fun too to see like
it'd be so fun.
See who
how
can
everyone
really hone
works
your
together.
skills really, and see who's good at what, and I think we'd be able to really produce something cool. No, I keep
Our big push, like Matt was saying there, is like it's to try to start creating more versus documenting more. It's like we find, and like I'm not gonna don't want to throw like numbers or anything like that, but we find with like smaller projects, it's generally less like not as well planned out. Like the client might not have as good of an idea as much as you want to try and guide them in a location, like into a direction. It's like, oh no, but like this might look good, and it's like no, that's not the plan, right? So like we're trying to push into more of like here's our set shots list, and because here's how the edit is going to be, and here's what you're going to use it for, versus all right, we got 4 hours. What are we gonna do? Right? Like let's do some stuff. Let's do so. Like we're trying to move more into the like creating versus documenting, and there's a place for both of it. And sometimes even bigger projects, you do need to document stuff, but that's like our big push this year.
It really depends, I guess, on the end goal of the piece of content, right? And really breaking it down between, I would argue, like 2 classes of clients, like qualified versus unqualified. And what I mean by that is like an unqualified client would be someone who, to your point, you know, not necessarily a plan in place, not a huge budget. They just want a piece of content for either filler, evergreen, or just a basic ad strategy they're putting out, versus a qualified client who they're like, okay, cool, we're going to invest, you know, $25,000 to $50,000 on this video, right?
There's a campaign behind
exactly.
They have a full
campaign,
marketing team.
They want a full, you know, RFP for it. They want to have the proper pre-production. They want to have several creative briefs with you and your team, and then, you know, the post-production is a massive component that they want to be along for the ride as well. And you know, it's to Riker's point, that's something we really enjoy doing, because when you show up to the shoot day, right, you have the storyboard done, you have your shots list all figured out. It's just so much more seamless.
It's a checklist, right? It's a checklist. It's easy, And I think that also comes to being just like starting to move into the expert side of being in this field, right? Like
Yeah, of
you guys now have done all that other run and gun stuff, and you're learning on the go,
Yeah.
and you know that it's like when you show up that you can confidently say, okay, these guys don't like, even if it's like a B-list client, like you're saying like you get there and you're like they don't know what they want, but you can say okay, and you can take control and
Yeah.
still pull something together.
And that's the thing is a lot of it is on us,
Yeah,
right?
and
Even
that's-
Totally. Even
from
the pre-production stuff.
even from like what I was referencing earlier with the qualified and unqualified client. Like, even if the client doesn't have an idea or whatnot, you can be pretty stern with, like, you know, our company requires 2 pre-production meetings,
Yeah.
right? We're going to send you over a storyboard and a shots list for you to approve,
Right.
right? And then you then, as a company, are kind of taking the initiative to level up this video that you could have just been like, cool, I'll show up, I'll film for 4
Right.
hours, but now you're putting more time and effort into the pre-production,
Yeah.
which is going to result in a better video for the client. And, you know, even if the budget's not there, you can then leverage that for a bigger project,
Yeah.
right?
100%.
And just better turnaround. Like, that's
Big time.
Like, just not having to sort through. We said this at the beginning of this summer when we got to work with the Winery Association again. We were like, cool, shots list. We're gonna go in. We don't want any more than 50 clips in here. And we finished the first day, and we're like, and Matt's like, how many you got? I was like, 80. He's like, I got 110. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, we have 200 clips from this. We're only making a 30-second video.
Yeah.
Like, and then your post-production ends up taking you 9 hours because you're sorting through all this stuff.
And so often too, you like overshoot and like you're like putting makeup on a pig. You're like you can only shoot this thing
Yeah.
so many ways. Like we were
Totally.
doing a real estate shoot yesterday, and it was like a couple moving gimbal shots, and say, okay, what else do we need? It's like, well, we're in a basement. Like, what else are we gonna?
Yeah.
What else are we gonna do right
Exactly.
True.
now? Yeah.
Yeah,
Pre-production.
that's super tough not to do though, because you always think like, oh, what if I need this shot?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't want to miss something, right? Like,
You can't go back.
I know.
You can check off your shots list, but then you'll see someone like pouring wine or like doing something with a lacrosse stick. You're like, ooh, I should probably get this just in case.
The light
Yeah.
hits a certain way. Like, oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
I definitely won't use it, but what if I do?
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I should have this for later. And it's like, how many times have you ever gone back?
Oh my
I
god.
have at least 6
Afterwards.
terabytes of footage that I could delete today and just never think twice about it.
Oh,
But I
100%.
won't.
You won't do it.
Just in case.
Yeah,
keep
Just
on
in
more in
case.
case I need it.
Hey,
right?
you know what? Like 5 years from now, we might be like, you know what? We want to make a nostalgia video
Oh.
of us from 8
Well,
years
the
ago.
Last Dance, right? Like, imagine.
Hey, man.
You know?
100%.
That's why we talk about documenting more all the time, so you can see like, you know, the come up of a business.
Yeah, like,
That's
we
like- yeah.
want to like document more with us and create more for like
That's
clients kind of
100%.
thing.
Then we keep saying that too, that we're not great at like marketing our own brand and
Yeah.
like showing the behind the scenes of like what we do, because it's like, yeah, we'll post a couple Instagram stories here and there, but to like show like
Yeah.
getting the clients and, you know, like just that building the brand, like and even like with Harvest here too, like I've been filming with these guys for like 2 years. I have so much archive that if this ever does take off and is like across Canada, it's like
Yeah.
we can do a full
Yeah.
production because
Yeah.
I have everything, right?
Yeah.
And even for you, like the two of you guys, even with the two of you guys with Uncharted, right? Even doing these podcasts, this is a perfect, you know, this can be used as behind the scenes because you're continuously talking about your
Totally.
guys' brand, where you're going, and then throughout every episode, you're getting further ahead with your goals and what you want to do, you know?
Yeah,
So
damn, we should be rolling that other camera, I guess.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah.
Not enough
where's
cameras.
the vlog camera? We should have brought our cameras too. Have
That's
not
literally
9
like my
cameras
famous
set
quote
up.
is like, I wish I had my camera. It's like you still have your phone and you're like, I wish I had my camera.
Oh,
no,
man.
Whoopie's good.
Doesn't
Yeah.
it kill me to have to be like, okay, I guess I'll take it with my phone. And I'm like, this is still like an amazing camera.
You'll see Ryker without a camera, and he's going to take a photo like this, his hands just shake, I'm like, and he's like, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Fine, it's fine.
But you know,
So
moments
true.
like that, I kind of enjoy too. And like sometimes I have to take a step back from my own self, and I'm like, fuck, I wish I had my camera. And be like,
Yeah.
maybe I'll just enjoy this moment
Yeah,
for me.
that's
Yeah.
true.
You know, because like, how many times are we so wrapped up in our cameras trying to get the shot or get a video clip that we end up missing the entire sunset?
Oh,
I don't
man.
even see it with my eyes. I'm so
You're just looking for the
fixated on
angle.
getting a photo
Yeah.
of me or Riker and video clips that we'll never use.
You're like,
and
oh, the sun's down. I
Yeah.
didn't see that at
It's
all.
like, oh, shit.
Time to go home now.
Yeah.
It's like people taking cell phone photos of fireworks that they're never going
Oh
to show
my
anybody,
God,
right? It's
man.
like, just enjoy the fireworks,
Yeah,
right? Instead of
it's
like
true.
30
Tough.
photos in a 2-minute video that you'll never review.
It's
Yeah.
tough too though, because like that's on like the other side. That's like it's our job to document it. So like even if you're at these events, you're like
Totally.
you're not
Yeah.
enjoying these events, but you are, but you're still not. You know,
Yeah.
like it's a tough side.
It's a little stressful for sure. I've noticed that at the Thunderbirds games. I'm like, we see so many people that we know, and
Yeah.
everyone's like, hey, and I'm like, I really
wanna chat.
don't have time
Yeah,
for
I
this.
can't do this right
Even
now.
though, like, we
You go
probably
up on the
do,
main
it's just
concourse
like,
and you just do a lap around. It's like, and you stop and have like 15 conversations. Yeah.
And the game's over.
You feel like an asshole because you're like, all right, I gotta get going, and then you turn, and there's one more person, you're standing talking to them, and the person's still there in line. It's
Yeah, this motherfucker.
like, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no, you gotta try and enjoy it as much as
Yeah.
you can, but it is tough for sure.
So I guess let's flip to you guys for a second. Like, what's your plan moving forward for the next like 2-3 years? Like, it's cool if you don't have a plan. You don't need one, but like, do you have any ideas?
Probably
where
just
you'd
gonna
like
get
to
rich
see?
off NFTs, I guess.
I'm really hoping
that's the
crypto's
plan.
gonna
The amount of times I've heard you say that
Oh
phrase.
my god,
Crypto's
man.
gotta go. I don't care which one, just one of the
Oh
7
my
that I have.
God.
But yeah, I don't know. Like for us, it's we're still trying to find our identity. I think too. Like we really,
literally find our identity,
Yeah,
like
like-
our name and everything.
yeah, like we're still not sold on our name and just like little things like that. But for us, like I think we really want to focus on like honing one skill set or area of like a category in its own. Like
Yeah.
we really enjoy sports content
Yeah.
and like we're avid golfers now. Like I'm not I would say I am now that like we want to try and work with like golf brands and golf courses and
Yeah.
like try and like not necessarily say yes to everything and just really hone into like specific
Yeah, find
clients.
your niche.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. Like I think finding our niche is like my big goal for this year. I generally don't. I should, but I generally don't really plan like outside of a year because I'm not. I just need to. I'm kind of more like in front of me and kind of
Yeah.
right on the like the edge of my seat kind of thing. Like not great at planning, not great at making like long term decisions. I'm kind of just like yeah, I'll be yes man. But for us, it's this year, me specifically, I guess it's just finding our niche. And not only that, I'd love to. We keep saying about like how we enjoy being a 2-man team and there's no
Mhm.
overhead or anything like that. But I'd also love to try and like work with younger creatives. Like it's
Totally.
crazy to say that I'm not young and a creative in the space, but like.
I mean, you're still
we
young.
like that.
I hit 27 and it's
Do
all
be
just
like
downhill.
that
It's downhill
sometimes.
from there.
Nah, I turned 28 on Friday.
Couple January boys.
I turned
eh?
30 2 weeks after you turned 28.
All right, we're good then. We are the young guys in the
Yeah,
industry.
dude, my 20s are gone.
But you know what? That's I kind of want to try and
No,
help
for sure.
bring those platforms up and give
Yeah.
people. That's a lot of this is just having another platform to just tell
For sure.
stories and
Mhm.
talk about yourself and talk about what you're excited about. And that's kind of my focus this year is just connecting with people who are driven and passionate about what they're doing and
Yeah.
just hearing their stories. For this at least, and then Uncharted, like I said, just finding our niche. But for you, I don't know. I always
Pretty
speak on your behalf.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm just along for the ride.
Yeah,
No,
I want to travel again.
Yeah,
and
it would be sick to travel. I really do want to collaborate more with other creatives.
100%.
I know like we've got a pretty solid little group on Instagram with some of the lads.
Yeah.
And I think that if the right project comes along, that could be pretty huge. I think everybody's got a little bit of a different skill set, and we
Yeah.
could really pull something together that's pretty great. So really, I feel like that's going to happen sooner than later, and I don't know if that's a goal, but it's just something that I have a
Hoping
feeling
for,
about, and I'm
yeah.
hoping for, and yeah, finding a niche and just
It's
figuring out how to make doing what we love it like realistic and attainable,
Yeah.
and like,
Sustainable.
not saying that we don't. I haven't loved the last year, but there's definitely projects where you're in editing and you're like, I
Yeah.
really am not super enjoying this, but that's just sort of the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
And, just continuing to learn and grow and just figure this out and make sure that we can do this for a long time.
Totally.
Basically,
yeah, because we've shown that we can both live off this for a year.
Yeah.
And I guess that's just trying to grow, make more money, be able to maintain and actually like afford like houses and
Yeah.
support families and stuff like that. So I guess that's like a shift for the next 2 to 3 years is like really making sure that this is like an actual attainable industry to keep in, which I 100% am confident that we are. But
Oh, definitely.
I was gonna say though, it's funny that that you said about like doing work all together because I forget who it was, but someone like 2 years ago was like, so when is like or not? What were you before?
Oh,
Champagne
Champagne.
Creative.
They're like, when is Champagne Creatives and like Uncharted? Like when are you guys all gonna be like come together? And it's like it just doesn't make sense right now.
No.
There's too many of us, too many too many creative kind of mindsets moving in different directions. But like now it's something we like
Yeah.
really want to do because we know that we'd be able to produce
Yeah.
something unbelievable, right?
And I
Like,
think with that too, it's like further honing in on what position you want to be, right? Because it wouldn't make
Totally.
sense to have 4 videographers come together and create
Yeah.
something, right? You'd
100%,
almost want like a videographer, maybe a DP, a director, a
light
producer,
guy,
an editor,
yeah.
grip, right? It's like
Yeah.
trying to, as much as niching into a like a style of video,
Right.
niching into like what you want to do. Because like I know even Riker on multiple occasions said he wants to go more so into directing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, he got the chance to direct Dave Sampson's music video.
Won some,
Um,
won some awards, not a big deal.
No, didn't win any.
Oh, it didn't.
No,
Nominated,
no,
though.
Nominated though.
Still.
Yeah, which I
To be
mean,
in that mix.
Who
man,
knows?
Is that good?
The ECMAs are coming up, so who knows?
but I mean, you can speak to that. That was your directorial debut, right? And I know you said you really enjoyed that, and it's something you want to, pursue going forward.
Yeah, and getting on set with people who are more experienced in the industry is also something. Like, Jack was the DP on that, and like Ben and I can't remember the other guy's name were the like grips, and like
Like guys. This is the like guy.
and
Strobe light.
and I'd never worked with a director of photography before, like, which I don't know if I should say that or not, but I mean Andy Hines knew that I hadn't, and he threw me into it, and I think we did a pretty good job. I learned a ton from Jack, like, and even stuff that he said that day, like when it comes to like lighting and like setting up the shots and all that kind of stuff, it just made me appreciate how much I don't know
Right.
about anything. Like, literally setting up the music video was 2 minutes and 35 seconds long, and we shot for 10 hours, and like setting up for a 5-second shot was like 45 minutes minimum, like 45 minutes, and it was like boom, okay, and then still, even with that, we didn't end up using half the shots we got.
Right.
It was
As,
crazy.
like you said, as you never do.
Yeah.
Like, and even I had it storyboarded down to the seconds. It was like cool, 0 or like pre the song even starting. I'm like, okay, 3 seconds is gonna be this. The song's gonna start. 5 seconds is gonna happen. 6.5 seconds is gonna, and it was like shot, and we still shot too much. It was just, it was crazy. You learned so much from that, though.
That's like you said though too, right? About like it was a humbling experience because you realize how much you didn't know.
Oh man.
It's like with any industry, especially one where we're all self-taught.
Right.
It's like the gift/curse of knowledge of the more you know, the more you realize you don't actually know.
Yeah.
Whether it's like
100%.
shooting techniques, editing, or gear, or how to set up certain shots, like there's still such a vast chasm of information that we're just so ignorant to, right? That we're just trying to pick up.
I feel like sometimes I get a little like stressed when I watch movies now because I'm like, how did they do that?
Yeah. I
What
pick
do they know
everything
that we
apart
don't
now.
know? You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, how did they get this shot? This makes no sense. And it's like you said, you're like, we've taught ourselves like quite a bit, for sure.
Yeah.
But there's just so much more out there that's crazy. Like, how would you describe the role of a director, Because I mean, I feel like I have like a very general idea, but like, what did you do? Like, what was your job for that?
People
I'm-
right there.
Yeah, basically, like it sounds so degrading saying it like that, being a people wrangler, but basically is like, I was making sure that Dave was comfortable with everything that we were doing. I was like hyping him up. I was making sure that like Jack and the grips knew like what shots we were getting.
Okay.
Basically, it's a bunch of pre-production, and then it's like managing expectations day of, and like managing the talent, and like giving direction as the director to the director of photography and the grips to like tweak things, or maybe be like, Jack, this is the shot that I'm picturing. Like
Pull it
you
together.
you
And
you
then
pull it
make it
together because
happen.
because like I'm not the expert on camera angles and what lens you should use and the lighting and what atmosphere and all this stuff. Like that's his piece. So it's just like it's a lot of trust and just like basically like giving minor
And,
directions.
I feel like the biggest challenge for me specifically in that role would be sort of conveying my vision.
Yeah.
That must have been really challenging. Just
Well-
being able to like tell the DP what you're thinking and
Yeah.
him actually execute it, that communication must be
That's such a crucial skill to be able to
a
have.
really
Totally.
interesting
To see something through
dynamic.
the end, right? And, like,
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
something, see an end
Like
product
to what
before
Kyle said, being able to actually convey that to someone who can then execute it, like that's such a fucking hard
It's
thing
like
to do.
really good communication, and again, just a lot of pre-production. Like I had multiple calls with Andy. Jack actually location scouted with me.
Okay.
So like we went to 4 different spots, and then we settled on like the vibe of the music video was like kind of like hometowny. Like it was supposed to be like a parody of being like alone and sad, basically. And the song's fucking awesome.
We'll
but
put the link in the bio, so just
yeah, exactly. You
everyone's
guys can check
listening,
it
we'll
out.
put the link in the bio.
And
Goes viral.
yeah.
Yeah, for all 10 subscribers.
Sick.
And but yeah, like basically like, he came out, he had like the like app on his phone to like show like the different focal lengths and everything that he like wanted to use. So like we set up, and I was like thinking I like wanted it to be a bit wider, so we did like between like a 24 and a 35, and then we used a 50 for a couple of like really tight shots that were handheld. Aside from 2 shots in the video that are handheld, everything else was on a tripod or on like a glide, this huge slider that was on rollerblade wheels. It was like 13 feet long, I think it was. And yeah, it was crazy. It was really cool. But yeah, it's just pre-production.
So much.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like,
And then at times like that, you can understand why there's so many people on a production set.
oh man,
Yeah, like why it's not just 2
crazy.
guys.
Oh, and like, and I'm looking outside, and I'm like, oh man, lighting's great. There's no harsh sunlight or anything. And Jack's like, okay, cool. I want you guys to set up 300D outside, pushing light in through the blinds. And then we're going to do a 300D inside, and then we're going to dim the lights on the inside to make it look a little bit dingier, but then we want Dave's face to be lit up. And we had negatives and like bounces and all this stuff, and I was like, holy shit. Like, really, it's just understanding lighting. Like, if you can understand lighting,
That's
you
like,
unlock the
this is
secrets
just
to the universe.
blasting.
Like,
Yeah.
it's
I think
crazy,
I've seen that
man.
in a YouTube ad.
Oh,
Actually.
dude, probably. Honest to God, like it's like DMT or learning how to light something.
I can say DMT. I know virtually
That's
nothing.
crazy.
It's crazy,
Seriously.
man.
It
It's
is.
just-
It is kind of insane. And I mean, geez, just even having people, because like with us, we are everything all at once. So it's like if I'm on the camera and then I see, well, I need to change the lighting, it's like we're either like both of us are on cameras, one of us has to go like stop what we're doing, change the lighting, like do all this other stuff. It's like
That's
it's a complete nightmare.
like one thing that Matt and I did that really helped us like closer to the end of 2021 is like deciding who's gonna do what.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we realized we didn't really need 2 shooters and ever shoot.
Most of the
Yeah.
time.
So
Said that to Kyle
yeah,
a
we'd
couple
go to
weeks
one
ago,
and
yeah.
Riker would be like, cool, I'm gonna direct this one, you shoot. Or like he'll like project manage, I'll
Right.
shoot. And then the next one Riker would be like, cool, I'm gonna shoot, you direct / project
Yeah,
manage.
and
And it
this
did
will-
make things go a lot smoother.
Totally.
Like there's times when like we'll get to a shoot that I know that Kyle has already done all like the logistical work
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
leading up to it. So it's like I'll get there and I'm just starting to set up all the lights. It's like I'll just kind of just start setting stuff
Yeah.
up and just doing that task because you know that someone else has a vision in mind, right? Like
Well, and like we have it down now, so like I do most of the pre-production, and Matt has a handful that he'll take, but then day of usually we might split the role of shooting, or it'll mainly be Matt and I'll be directing and like kind of managing the other people that are there, like the client or the talent or whatever it is. Post-production, I get all the footage, I do all the selects, and maybe potentially find a couple songs, and then Matt just like chef's kiss ties it together at the end and just makes it look beautiful. And it doesn't, and it's like
He
not,
just
and it's not
select, drag to sequence.
Render out, export to.
Thanks, Riker.
HFX Director Production.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. Why'd you stop putting Rove at the end? I'll change it. Never change it.
Oh, don't worry, it's just a watermark so they don't take it right away. No, but like
Premiere
it's
will
not,
cut
it's
it to the music. for
not
you,
trying
so-
to like undermine at all what you're doing, because literally I can't even edit like a video to music anymore. Like I just don't see it.
Yeah.
I literally can't. I like put all the clips in and I'm like, these are my favorite shots from it. And then at the end, here's all the other shit in case you want to put something else in. And then Matt just like colors, sound design, everything, and just makes it look like a masterpiece.
And I wasn't trying to shit on you either. That was more
Oh
of
no,
like,
trust me, I don't take it, man. The ship sinks without me.
No,
So. I'm okay
Nice.
with that. Yeah.
There we go. But that's so awesome.
Yeah.
Like, at some point, you just gotta figure out what your strengths are. And
Yeah.
But you
as a team, right? It's
to
like any
succeed,
team.
you need to have those defined roles, because if
Yeah.
not, we're going to be stepping on each other's toes, trying
Totally.
to complete the same task and just wasting time with redundancies,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So, without those clear,
Which we
goals
have,
aligned.
which we went through
Yeah.
in
it
the
was
first
painful. It was
year,
insane, yeah.
year and a half almost.
There's
us
times when we
doing
would
it.
sit down and we would tandem edit a video. We'd be side by side, And I'm like, here, you put some clips in. It's
No,
such.
that's
And we're
awful.
just like,
It's
why
such a
are we
time
doing
waste,
this?
man. And like,
It's ridiculous.
and it's
now.
like it's so tedious too, because like you'll be in the middle of about to do, you'll do one task, and you're like gonna do the next 3 tasks, and the
Yeah.
person beside you is like, so I think we should do this. It's like I'm getting there. Like you know, it just like gets so tedious.
Honestly,
Yeah.
it's getting to the point now. Like typically, Riker and I would always edit together, but I
Yeah.
mean, even more so specifically post Christmas, like after the holidays. Riker does do all of the photography for Rove, right? I might take like 6 photos a year, if that.
Yeah.
So like for the shoots for Supplement King this past weekend, we were just at our own respected offices, right?
Yeah.
I went through the videos, Riker went through the photos, we knew what we were doing, and then put it together in one folder at the end and
100%.
deliver it to the client, right? Because there's no need to be constantly.
Well,
Unless
and
it's a big
Yes,
production,
yeah.
then
it's-
we'll bounce off each other. We
yeah.
might tandem edit something like that, where like I'm the director of editing sometimes, so I'll just give myself a role. If Matt's editing, I'm like, cool, I'm gonna sit over your shoulders.
Yeah, Riker's
And I'm
got
just
this
gonna
really
nod
interesting
my
habit
head.
of like whatever title I have for a project, he'll just take the same title, but he'll add like director in front, just to make it seem like one higher. Like, yeah, I'm lead editor. He'll be like, I'm director of lead editor.
I'm director. I'm directing the edit right now.
Yeah.
Director of lead editing.
Are you guys 50-50 partners in Rove?
Yeah.
Yes,
Nice,
yeah.
nice. That was one thing to like to.
We
to
were
your point.
60-40 for the first like 3 months when you were still working at
Yeah.
Blended,
Yeah.
but I mean, we thought that was gonna be like a year, and 3 months into it, he
Yeah.
ended up going down like 1 shift a week. So I'm like, well, we might as well.
Yeah.
50-50,
Yeah.
That was
right?
literally pretty similar to us too.
You
That-
gotta.
I mean,
Yeah.
we were
You
like
gotta be both
we were like
committed.
charging different things on projects,
And
like
we
we
were
and it
saying
just didn't make any
funny
sense.
You said that just went right in my head.
Yeah, just life in TikTok.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Once we started just like tag teaming every project, splitting everything down the middle, and like working towards like the common goal, it just completely shifted the momentum of our business.
Yeah.
Like at first, it kind of felt like we were just kind of running gun at like doing doing the bare minimum. I want to say, but like at the time, it just feels like the bare minimum because it was. I don't know,
Mhm.
but it was definitely when we came together, the same as you guys. It was
Yeah.
like you start to move forward and
Yeah.
you get to figure out what you actually are good at. Like Kyle does a lot of our does all our photography, and like a lot of like the corporate style interview stuff.
Yeah.
I'll just kind of like
It's literally Riker's role.
basically
too.
what I do
and
too,
then
I
so-
can't
I'm
stand interviews.
no, and I'm like
Yeah.
I don't mind it. I don't mind like editing it together, but I don't like making people say things like where you have to like manipulate what they're saying into like a.
I'm a
testimony or
wizard
something.
at that.
Yeah.
And then Matt puts a B-roll on
Yeah.
top of it. Like,
So yeah, I'm more like editing to the beat hits and like the I don't know, just the
Yeah.
more
Mhm.
high impact stuff, and we figured that out this year, and it's going well. But I mean, Kyle's getting pretty good at the editing too now. He's trying to get him over to Final Cut Pro, but he's not.
Oh.
I don't
Are you
know,
Premiere?
man. I'm in Premiere.
Yeah, stick it
I
through,
don't
man.
know.
Stick it
We
through.
just bought it for the other computer, but he hasn't even opened it yet.
I know.
think.
If I were to switch to anything, which I definitely won't,
Da Vinci.
DaVinci,
it'd be
yeah.
DaVinci. Yeah.
Kyle's does some stuff in DaVinci, but
did a bit of coloring in DaVinci, but the workflow was a bit
Is that what
cumbersome.
John-
It's
is that
what John
clunky.
uses?
If
It's,
you don't-
it's just-
what?
is that what John uses with the Thunderbirds? He using DaVinci?
No, he was using some other old program that's just like really basic, but yeah, DaVinci. I love the color grading in DaVinci,
Oh.
but
Yeah.
going from
the
Premiere
nodes and
to
everything. Like,
DaVinci, the workflow is just atrocious. You can't once you export your clips and then you color them, it's like you put it back together and then somebody wants something changed and you have to go through the whole process.
Yeah, I feel like from a revision standpoint, it's a lot.
It's awful.
clunkier to
Unless
be
you
able to
were
get
in
it in.
DaVinci for everything, that
Yes,
would be
yeah.
amazing.
what
but-
I've seen some people do is literally do just slap on a color grade
Like a
for-
rough on a Premiere.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
Premiere, send it off, wait till the final like revisions are
Okay,
done,
yeah.
then finish the color grading in DaVinci. One of my cousins actually works for 902 Productions, which is like editing house in the city here,
Sweet.
and he's worked on like Netflix, like he edits for like some Netflix shows and like CBC documentaries and stuff, and he basically the full edit gets put together, and then he adds on like the smoke or like the snow particles and does up that little bit of color grading at the end,
Yeah.
so that you don't have to do that.
Someday,
Yeah, that's-
someday, Kyle.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the thing with a lot of our projects. We're pretty flexible with that stuff, and it's a little bit of a tighter turnaround.
Totally.
So there's not a lot of half the time by the time we get to the deadline, it's like, well, they
Yeah.
just approved the final one, so
Totally.
there's no time. But yeah, it's definitely something that I'd like to do more. I mean, Premiere's pretty good. It's a little clunky with the different limiters.
Yeah.
And it's just not designed for Mac, and we all use Mac except Ryker.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kyle just made the
Sucks,
shift.
dude.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I love my PC when I have
Hey
it.
man,
It's great.
if like someday
me-
when we can afford like a couple really good iMacs
Pros.
or like a really or maybe Matt will just keep on laptop and I'll get an
I
iMac or
will.
something.
I mean, just with the new iMac
Yeah.
or the
They're too
MacBook
good.
the
Pro.
Pro.
They're
like,
too
Do
good.
you have a laptop, Ricker?
I have a 2015 MacBook Pro.
Okay.
It's the
But you
e-
can,
it's
like,
the
that
email laptop.
I
It's the
literally
what?
The email laptop.
an email laptop basically.
Nice.
But I
I
have
have
like
a Netflix MacBook Air at home.
Yeah. But my PC is just an absolute beast. So
It is.
Yeah.
That's
like
unreal.
Especially
It-
after the last upgrade.
yeah, even it like kind of like I don't know shits the bed with Premiere every once in a while
For
if
sure.
like some of the bigger projects we had.
But that's a Premiere Pro issue, not a computer
Yeah,
issue. It's just-
but I'm like looking to dabble in like Blender.
Final Cut?
Do you want to
Brian
talk
Brian
about?
has-
get it.
I
Do you
rest
want
my
to talk
case.
about your Final Cut experience in December?
It's just that was a laptop issue, I think. I don't
Yeah,
want to
okay,
talk about
okay.
it.
Yeah,
No, that's. I mean, the PC, my PC was great, and it literally saved our lives at the end of last year. As
Yeah.
MacBook decided
We would have
to
lost the Thunder.
take a
because of
vacation.
contract.
So, yeah,
man.
I mean, I love it, but I love my Mac more.
yeah,
It's just a unit.
So it's just everything's there too.
Beast, yeah.
Totally.
AirDrop and just everything's all there.
yeah. You can't like
I'm an Apple whore.
Yeah.
It's just everything is so seamless together.
Yeah.
iPhones, iPads, MacBooks.
Tim, hit us up, man. Sponsor us.
I mean, I have a MacBook and I have an iPhone and I have an
I'll always
iPad
pay the extra
Pro
money
and I
just-
have
So
all
That's
that
the thing,
stuff.
right?
But
Yeah. That's like when I worked there. Like a lot of people would come in and you're not really selling the product. You're just lining up the right product with the right people. And a lot of
Yeah.
people were like, well, I don't really need all those ports. It's like, what do you do for work? And they're like, I'm in like video editing. It's like, yes, you do.
You
It's
do
like,
need the
I
ports.
promise you, yes, you want those extra 2 USB-C ports because it's like makes a big difference.
It's like when I
Yes.
went to the Apple store, Halifax Shopping Center, to get like buy one of the MacBook Pros, right? She's like, yeah, like we're completely sold out. I'm like, who the fuck in Nova Scotia needs that much power in these MacBook
Yeah.
Pros that they're sold out?
Yeah.
Right?
No,
Like it blows
crazy.
my mind.
the
Yeah.
Mac Pro
As you're buying one. you know,
M1
it's-
Max or whatever it was.
I just picture someone fucking playing The Sims and writing like an essay for like Dow. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, wall coding or something.
Yeah, look how
$5,000
look how smooth my sim walks. It's like
That's fair.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here on like an old MacBook, like Premiere
Yeah.
keeps shutting down.
Yeah, watching the wheel just spin. I guess another question I'll ask. Not really a question, but one piece of advice you'd give to someone just starting out in our industry.
Oh man, we've talked about this
Shit.
before actually.
I know it's a tough one.
Do work for free, but be strategic about it.
So do work for free, but not for free.
Yeah. Like only do work for free if you can leverage that work.
Riley's got the spinny wheel.
And if you can leverage that work later on. Like there's still a few companies, even with like the money that we made last year and the clients we work with now, if certain companies reached out to me, I would easily do something for free.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Right?
Or
Like
product, or like.
yeah,
Something.
right?
There's usually an exchange
Post
with companies
on
like
their
that. There's
page,
usually an exchange
like-
of goods of something, right?
Even
Yeah.
even if you know for the doing something free but not for free, as long as you can see some form of ROI from the completion of this project,
Yeah.
whether that's a connection you make through this company
Yeah.
or there's a larger company within the same niche that you can then leverage that video to get with them.
Yeah.
That's kind of thing. But at the same time, you have to be wary. You don't want to build like a year's worth of work off that model because then you are then going to contribute to a devalued market and
Right.
you're just going to hurt other creatives,
Yeah.
right?
Totally.
And then you're also going to get people into the habit of thinking, new guy, free video,
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's like
It
yeah,
makes
that's
it
that's
tough.
been a tough transition for us, right? Like, 'cause
Big
I mean,
time.
like, now we're doing the jobs we want to do, but there's still those people that reach out. It's like, oh, you're still like, it's just the two of you,
Yeah.
like, you know, it's like so obviously all the lights help and show like the legitimacy
Yeah.
to our company.
It's like an
but-
insurance policy,
Yeah,
basically, right? The
right.
more equipment you have, people just same thing with like a larger team, right? You see it, you
Yeah.
just feel like you're gonna get better work, but
But-
it doesn't mean it. But
My counterpoint to that is if you are somebody who's doing it solo or if you're doing it like as a duo, like don't discount the quality of a small team as well, because I see some people who are like just starting out, their production company or their photography company or graphic design, whatever, has like 100 followers and they're like, one of our graphic designers will do this or our video editor will do this, and I'm like, I know you're just one person
I ranted
and like
about this
and
before.
and literally like just be the one man or one woman like or whatever
Don't
team,
pretend that you're
right?
not
Like
anything yet.
don't pretend, because people now can see right through that shit. Like, and don't get, like, I hate the fake it till you make it thing. Like, if you say fake it till you make it, like, go fuck yourself. I'm sorry.
I was definitely like a kind of like a fake it till you make it like a year and a half ago, I'd say.
But everybody
that's
is
the
at some
mindset.
point,
Yeah.
though.
My first year, that's all I did.
Yeah.
Honestly,
right?
just with the daily videos.
Yeah, and you're like worried about posting every day and just like what other people are thinking about what you're doing, and it's just like
yeah, that's
not
I would say
Yeah.
it's not feasible.
that in itself would be a good piece of advice, but it's also like the hardest piece of advice to follow through with is this idea that, you know, your art's only meant to be viewed once. Like, I posted this photo, I can't post it again, or I can't post something from that shoot because I've already posted it. My audience is seeing it, right? Your art's not meant to be viewed once and just forgotten about, right?
Yeah.
And then you also don't have to post every single day to stay relevant. Like, I personally struggle with that a lot. Like, if I don't post for a month, I'm like, shit, people are gonna forget who I am.
Yeah.
Better make a post, right?
And that was the thing too. I found like when I was really like focused on trying to just post every day, it's like people don't care enough to see your stuff every day, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like you got to leave them wanting a little bit more, and just like I started posting more of like me back on my Instagram again, right?
Yeah.
And like a lot of people started like engaging more, and like it's because it's you.
It's
not,
also humanizing your brand,
100%,
a bit,
right? Yeah.
Which is
Totally.
huge.
I think
And like, it doesn't mean you don't have to work, like, create every day.
No.
Like, you can create every day. You just don't always have to be posting about it, right? Because that's another big thing is, you know, we started saying that. Riker started saying it a lot to me because I struggle with being like a perfectionist in the sense that I'll sit on a project for way too long because I'm just trying to get one aspect of it perfectly right. And Riker always says, like, listen, man, done is better than perfect, right?
That's
and you know, perfection is going to be your biggest barrier to entry in this market because your work will never be as good as you want it to be. It'll always fall short of your expectations because you're falling in love with this idea of this like fantasy video you're going to create. It's always going to fall short.
Yeah.
And then
It's always
10
gonna fall
minutes
short.
after you post it, you're going to be like, I hate it.
Yeah.
of
course.
yeah. Like,
Maybe not
change
10
it,
minutes, but like, you know, like a
I'll go back
month,
to old videos
6
and
months
photos I've
down
done,
the
and I get like violently ill
Archive.
looking
Yeah.
at it.
Archive.
I've
It's
over
tough.
300 archives.
I have so many archives.
But it's kind of a cool way to look back and just be like, this is where I was, and this is where I am.
It
and
is.
Yeah.
But
I know,
it's a
because you
good
think about it, it's like
progression,
who
and-
else is actually going this far back on my page?
Yeah.
Like, probably
Nobody.
right?
There's
Like,
that-
why am I doing it for the 4th time today? I don't know. Right?
That like 10-year challenge is out right now. I want to do one.
That's the
like
second
literally
time
post
there's a 10-year challenge.
post the first piece of
That's just because you've
content.
been around for both of them. That you know.
Your first
So-
piece of content versus your most recent piece of content.
Your what?
I said like post your your
Yeah.
first piece of content versus your current like
It's kind of cool.
piece of content.
Oh, that'd be
Like
cool.
literally, like if you have a highlight reel, I don't know, like none of us have been doing it this long, but if you have a highlight reel from like 5 years ago, post it next to your highlight reel from today. Like, or like go back, like if I went back to like the first like actual photo that I took with like my Pentax when I first bought that versus the photos I take now, like I'd be laughing. Like you just learn so much.
Crazy.
It's interesting though because like I feel like the way that we've all learned, obviously through being self-taught, is just going out and just creating stuff for ourselves, right? But there's that weird like inverse tipping of scales where, you know, once business gets to a point where that takes priority, you stop creating for yourselves.
Yeah.
Like for me personally, I find that like detrimental for the success of like our business if we don't carve out time, and we're bad at it, I'll be honest.
Right.
If we don't
Yeah.
carve out time to create for ourselves,
Right.
because, you know, that's like you're the most authentic form of content you can create for yourself.
Totally.
Right?
And I think a big thing for us too is that like we compare us creating for ourselves as the same as you guys. So it's like your guys creating for yourselves is like getting
Totally.
out, being active, whereas
Yeah.
like this is our kind of way of creating for
Yeah.
ourselves right now. It's just like talking, having conversations, and creating. So it's like
Well, even like
that comparison of being like I don't need to go on fucking a bunch of hikes to try and look like Matt when I can just do my own thing
Yeah.
and really dial that in.
And I don't even go on hikes.
No, you just send the drone. You sit in the car and send the drone.
Seriously, yeah, I'll sip on a fucking latte in the car. I'll put
No,
the
he,
drone
like,
up.
pulls
I'm like,
over.
beautiful view.
Pulls
Harvest
over on the
latte.
road where there's some trees,
Beautiful.
takes one step into the trees.
Riker, take a photo. of me.
Yeah.
Kind of just-
Yeah.
Photoshop more trees
Oh,
in
you brought
front.
your camera? I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's actually a really good point, man. I was thinking that from the beginning of this little tangent that we went on. Is like, that might actually be my biggest goal for this year, is to do more stuff for myself.
Yeah.
You know, like, fuck, even something as simple as that little stupid Red Bull photo I took yesterday.
Yeah.
Which
It's
was
in
a
our
bomb.
account.
That was a
photo.
sick photo.
But it was just like, I was just sitting at my desk kind of bored, and like, I just, you know, obviously Red Bull, thank you Red Bull, you take care of us,
Yeah,
and
thanks,
now you take care of Rove as well, amazing.
Yes.
I was like, that wasn't really for them. It was more just like, I want to do a cool flat lay, and then that didn't work out, and then I did something else.
I love flat lays, man.
Well, that was the same with you did the that product Red Bull video just for fun.
Yeah,
which funneled into doing paid work for Red Bull. So that was pretty cool. But
yeah, that's another good point for everybody starting out. Don't stop creating for yourself.
Yeah.
Because,
that's your ticket to
it
success.
keeps you going. And
one of the biggest.
like you said, doing free work too. It's like you said, even now, like if it's a specific brand, a specific company that's like I would still do free work just because it's like that would be sick.
Yeah.
It'd be sick to work with this
like
company.
If Nike reaches out, right?
Yeah,
exactly. Not that they'd ever reach out, but like you know what I mean.
Or like even smaller brands that like will give you full creative control over the project.
For sure.
If you pitch, like the best thing you can do is go in and actually like pitch an idea to a small business, because chances are, and what we've realized over the past couple of years is like literally 90% of businesses in Atlantic Canada have never had a video done or professional photography for their business. And it's such a huge asset now. And like back on the point of creating for yourself, like our biggest like downfall that we realized over the past year is that we stress about projects that we have coming that like are in the future before they even happen, and then we waste that time leading up to it. Like, we have this like big shoot in a month, and then we like waste like 2 days out of our week for the 4 weeks leading up to it, just like thinking about the project
And
not doing anything. Like not even doing pre-production for the project, just being like, oh man, we have so much work coming up. And then we just sit there.
That's almost great advice to what you ask for people getting into the industry or just trying to figure it out, is don't get stuck in the trap of thinking about how you're going to do it or what your next step is. Just go out and do, right?
Yeah.
The only reason why that I was able to do this, and I attribute literally every ounce of success I have to this point to this, was after I quit my job, I came back from ISIM, I started doing those daily videos, right? You and I went to Shuby Park, and we literally just held birds, right?
Yeah,
and I was just, there was no point to any of the videos. They were just little 60-second vlogs that I put on my Instagram, but that led to paid work.
Yeah.
Just little B-roll sequences for fun.
And it creates relationships too. Like
That's
I reached
it,
out,
yeah.
I saw you doing it. I was like, let's go.
That's
like,
how I met Ryker.
That's literally how Matt and I
yeah.
became business
Same as
partners.
me and Kyle. Like he did a video for me when I worked for the supplement company. Just like came and modeled for me, just because he was watching along. And
Dang.
But like that's the thing. It's
this
because
guy's been modeling a lot.
I know.
I don't know what's going on.
Supplements, East Coast
that tells me that the pool for models is getting low. We're running out of people that haven't been photographed yet, so now we're at me. But whatever. I'll take what I can get.
I guess I'll give my own piece of advice too to kind of answer my own question. My biggest, best piece I could give anybody starting out is to surround yourself with people who are smarter than you, and not only that, but people who are supportive. And that's like what leads this conversation is you guys are all more educated in like the gear side of the field and everything. And that's
no,
something
trust me.
But you are though.
You know he is, and I pull stuff from here.
And that's the exact same.
He tells me what I have to buy. I'm like, I need a camera. He's like, get this. I'm like, okay.
It's sort of like Kyle's like, we need more. We need more lights. I was like, order more lights. He gets more lights, right?
He literally controls my bank.
But that's what the thing is like. Surround yourself with passionate, creative people that you respect in the field, because they have only good things to learn from them. That's my biggest takeaway. But
and don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
Yeah, don't be an ass.
Don't be a dick to those people. If people are nice to you and they're supporting you and they're helping you along, just be thankful. Be appreciative. Give back. When you get to a certain point where you are able to give back and help those other younger creatives, remember where you were at, and
just like and comment. You know,
comment.
Honestly, that's
like, comment,
back
share.
To someone who's like younger in the industry. I remember how fired up I'd be when like Dave Culligan would like or comment on one of my things like years ago, right? And now it's like I try and do that. It's
no joke, and this is hand to God true story. Like when I first started doing, because when I like left the financial industry, I had zero experience. I'd never touched a camera. I had zero ties to this industry. I just started doing daily videos to try and get out there and meet people. The day you followed me back on Instagram, like I had like a mild fangirl moment in my room because you were already doing videos for Coldstream and other brands. I was like,
basically for free.
I was like, Stroby just followed me on Instagram. I was like, oh shit. Whoa. Like straight up, I was stoked. I was on cloud nine.
Now it's like now I'm trying to message him. He's not answering.
Leave me on red.
No, I mean,
awesome.
I think we'll wrap up though, guys, because I think you'll be recurring guests. Hopefully, I'm if this
I'm definitely
we keep
game to
doing
be
this.
on again.
And we can't
Only
give
just
too much
started warming
advice
up.
because you're giving away all the secrets too, right? So
True.
yeah.
I think I mean, if this whole setup doesn't sum it up enough for what I just said about people like, and what Riley said, it's like, we are direct competitors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're sitting here talking about our experience, like we're friends,
Sharing
and there's
advice.
no reason why like that can't be the standard for this industry. Like,
100%.
you know, there's always gonna be competition, but I think it's great, and I think that I'm super stoked that you guys are willing to come on and share with us, and hopefully work with us in the future, because that's the only way that we're all gonna
We're
all
like,
gonna
within
grow.
a month, hopefully.
Exactly.
Totally.
Yeah. Unless like
You know?
Sony Alpha comes out and needs a company, I'll cut your legs out.
Yeah, fair enough.
We
Just kidding.
gotta start a list of companies that we can be friends off.
Yeah.
So,
Top 10 companies, we'll just do a draw.
There you go.
We'll do a
Yeah,
draft.
it's transparency.
cool,
I
man.
think is really
It's the
important
biggest
in
thing.
our industry. Like we've always been transparent with like our pricing and like just like making sure we're helping build each other
Which
up
was a
and not
big
working
thing for
against
you
each
and I
other.
when we were just individuals,
Yep.
because like I had no idea what to charge and like
Totally.
we bounce prices back all the
100%.
time.
Yeah. No, and I think it's huge. It keeps the industry standard high and it keeps lifting each other up. And
Totally. The biggest thing that I'm realizing over the past couple of years is that there is so much money out there.
yeah,
I don't want to like.
it's like.
I don't want to end on that actually, but
All right,
like,
now we gotta talk for another 20 minutes.
but like, fuck.
No, it's crazy. It's the biggest thing that I've really realized is seeing companies just like throwing huge numbers at these companies that are not getting their ROI at all. Like they're getting like the bare minimum, kind of just like.
Because it's like a huge agency.
Yeah, and it's when you guys do a video, I immediately know it's one of your guys' videos.
Yeah.
You know, and these videos are so like cliche and just like generic commercially looking videos that are like, which sounds like I'm degrading that, but it's like, you know what I mean? Like there's so much opportunity to like pay guys who are more creative and have a different outlook on what the end project's gonna look like. And
Totally.
I think it's definitely important to just keep showcasing that you can get less for more, maybe, or even just that's not the good way
You
to
can
say
get more for less.
More
you
for
mean.
less, yeah. More for less. More for less. That's
Yeah.
That's it,
Under promise, over deliver.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's always been our thing too. Is just always try and do more than what you're promising without devaluing what you're actually doing.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. Thanks.
Sweet.
I'm not good at doing the outros. Kyle does the intros and outros. But
Intros and outros.
yeah, I'll let you go ahead.
Tune in next week for. No, thank you guys so much for coming on. Like I said, I mean, probably a little rambly, but
Socials. Socials. Before you do that, socials. Rove Productions, HFX Drifter, Strike Force.
Yeah.
Nice.
With
And
an S,
yeah,
not a
that's
C.
With an S, with
With
a
an S.
Y and with an S.
Okay, well,
we're just gonna
also,
put that in the bio.
Also,
Yeah.
also linked in the bio. But yeah, sorry, Kyle. Continue
Yeah,
on
I mean,
there.
if you're watching this, you probably already follow these guys anyway. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys coming on and sharing with us, and you know, let's just take over the world
To the moon.
To the moon.
Cheers.
Just the two of us. We
Really
can
don't
make
just
it
start
if
to warm
we
up.
try. Just the two.
That's always how it
I
goes.
really wanted to.